The emperor's new clothes. Long ago, in a splendid kingdom, there lived an emperor who cared for nothing in the world except his clothes. He owned hundreds of suits, robes, and cloaks, each more dazzling than the last. While other rulers met with advisors, generals, or scholars, this emperor spent nearly every hour of his day in his dressing room. "What shall I wear to greet my people this morning?" he would ask his tailors. "What new design can make me look more majestic?" He thought of nothing but silks, velvets, and jewels. His treasury grew emptier with each passing season, but his wardrobe grew fuller and fuller. One day, two clever swindlers arrived in the city. They spread the word that they were master weavers from far away. They claimed they could create a fabric so beautiful, so rare, that it shimmered like nothing the world had ever seen. But there was more. This fabric had magical properties. They whispered. "The cloth is invisible to anyone who is unfit for their position, hopelessly foolish, or terribly stupid." At once, the emperor's ears perked up. Such cloth would be priceless, he thought. With it, I could discover who in my kingdom is wise and who is unworthy of their office. And, of course, I would have the most extraordinary clothes of all. Without hesitation, he summoned the weavers and ordered them to begin their work. The swindlers set up large looms in their workshop. Day and night, they pretended to weave. Their looms, of course, were empty. Yet they asked for the finest silk and the richest gold thread, which they secretly stuffed into their bags. From time to time, the emperor sent trusted ministers to inspect their progress. The first minister stepped into the workshop. He opened his eyes wide but saw nothing. The looms were bare. "Oh dear," he thought. "If I cannot see the fabric, it must mean I am unfit for my position. I dare not admit it." So he nodded and said, "Magnificent. Such colors, such patterns. I shall tell the emperor, he will be most pleased." The swindlers grinned. Another official came, and then another. Each saw nothing, but each was too afraid to admit it. Instead, they praised the imaginary fabric with words of wonder. At last, the emperor decided he must see the cloth with his own eyes. He entered the workshop, trailed by his court. The swindlers bowed low and pointed to the looms. "See, your majesty, the shimmer of the gold. Notice the intricate patterns in the weave." The emperor squinted, but he saw nothing. Nothing at all. His heart raced. Can it be? Am I unfit to rule? Am I foolish? He thought. But aloud he said, "Ah, exquisite. Truly, it is the most marvelous fabric I have ever seen." His courtiers quickly agreed. No one dared to speak the truth. The weavers demanded more silk, more gold, and more time. Finally, they declared the cloth finished. They cut at the empty air with giant scissors, and they stitched with needles that held no thread. On the day of the grand procession, they came to the palace. They held out the invisible garments and said, Here are your Majesty's new clothes. So light, so delicate, it feels as though you wear nothing at all." The emperor removed his robes and allowed the swindlers to dress him. His courtiers gasped in admiration, though they saw nothing but bare skin. The emperor looked in the mirror and forced a smile. "Yes. Truly splendid," he murmured, though deep inside he felt uneasy. Still, he stepped out into the streets. The trumpets blared. The emperor walked proudly through the city, his head held high. People lined the streets, eager to see the marvelous new clothes. But what could they see? Nothing at all. Still, no one dared admit it. "Oh, how fine," some whispered. "The emperor's new robes are magnificent," cried others. Everyone feared being thought stupid or unworthy. At last, a small child tugged on his mother's hand and shouted with innocent honesty, "But he isn't wearing anything at all." The words spread like wildfire. "The child is right. He wears nothing. Our emperor has no clothes." The emperor's face burned red. He trembled with shame. He knew the truth. Yet, too proud to admit his mistake, he lifted his chin higher and marched on, with his courtiers trailing behind, holding up a train that did not exist. Moral of the story: vanity and pride can blind even the wisest of rulers. That's the end of today's tale. Hit like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more fun adventures.